Today in the United Kingdom, the regal hookup that everyone in the world is talking about. That's right, Green Lotus F1 is married up with Caterham cars. We've got the coverage, the dinner menu, the dresses, who's sitting next to Elton John. Really? That's the best joke I can come up with? Forget William and Kate, it's Caterham at the altar with Green Lotus F1. This is a union surely intended to jack with the mind of the judge of the court case. Get it? Union Jack. Jack with the mind of the judge, who's trying to figure out who has the legal rights to the Lotus name in Formula One. A controversy, as the Brits would say. Now this is Green Lotus F1, not Black Lotus F1. This is legal Lotus 7, not black market Lotus 7. And this is Team Lotus Green Lotus CEO Tony Fernandez, not Group Lotus Black Lotus CEO Danny Bahar of Black Lotus. Well, unless you count their Green Lotus Indy cars we saw last week's shakedown at Long Beach, with team owner from Lotus, Kevin Kalkoven, who's not involved in this either. Nor is Lotus consultant Bob Lutz, who stuck his "hey, Pontiac's failure wasn't my fault" face into the Lotus press conference at the New York Auto Show. And we're certainly not talking about original Lotus owner Colin Chapman, who at this point is too busy spinning in his grave at 18,000 RPM. Oh, and Tony F. of Green Lotus F1 says their green and yellow GP2 team will be renamed Caterham Cars, which obviously will fix the confusion with the other green and yellow GP2 team from Group Lotus, the Lotus ART team, which of course will continue to race in green and yellow. And all of this has nothing to do with the Lotus Evora GTE that ran at last week's Le Mans test day. Well, until I tie it into today's shakedown coverage. Are we clear? 'Cause I'm not. Le Mans. They brought back the pre-race test day, and the two-session action told everyone that the 2011 Le Mans 24 will be mega. Here's what I think we learned, and please feel free to weigh in with your additional info in the comments to add to what I'm about to impart. Now, everyone except JF knows that Audi backed into last year's Le Mans 1-2-3 win, thanks to Peugeot's on-track self-abuse. Even Audi knew, so they built the R18, painted up 3 of them to look real mean, and took P1 and P2 at the test. Game over, right? The new Pug 908 snuck in a lap only 2/10 back on a 3-minute 27-second lap over the 8.5-mile track. Now both teams piled on the laps. Audi did 3,257 kilometers, Peugeot 3,407. So they both worked setups and all the variables. And an engine change for the Peugeot. So both cars look great, even with the rear fin, required only on new cars, which is why some of the cars don't have them. Like the Rebellion Toyota, a carryover Lola, but with a new aero kit and fat front tires the same size as the rears. That's the LMP trend, but I'm not sure it's helping. The timesheets say the diesels are 9, 10, 11 seconds quicker. The Oak Racing Pescarolo is trying this rear wing with golf balls and a serrated gurney flap to keep airflow attached for lower drag. And I gotta mention the Aston Martin LMP. It did only 12 laps over the 8-hour test, suffering engine failures. Cylinder liners were the trouble. In LMP2, it's 4 Nissans dominantly in P1, 2, 3, and 5 versus the Judd BMWs. In GT, the sleek Ferrari 458 was in its high-speed element, taking 3 of the top 4 spots and the only sub-4-minute GT lap. BMW and Porsche were within 2 seconds. Corvette, a loaner car, no factory car was shipped from the US, only the drivers, was another 2 seconds back. Then Ford GT and Aston, and then the new Lotus Evoras, 9 seconds off the pace, but this was their debut. Breaking down the lap into sectors. Sector 1 from start to the start of the Mulsanne straight, S2 the Mulsanne, S3 the corners including the Porsche curves back to the finish. They tell some stories to watch for in the race or car mods to look for when they come back in June. Audi versus Pug was a toss-up in sectors 1 and 2, but the curvy sector 3 was all Audi. In GT, the 458 was fastest in the cornering sectors 1 and 3. Corvette was slow on the Mulsanne, and they told me aero was their focus. I bet the factory cars will be quicker when they arrive at Sarthe. Mike Waltrip was at the test in his Ferrari F430. No great lap times, but I'll avoid the NASCAR jokes because his owner-partner Rob Kaufman is talking about a sports car program for 2012, and any new team is a good thing. Kaufman was at Sebring, checking out ALMS and ILMC, but you know Grand Am is blowing in their ears hard about NASCAR loyalty. And speaking of loyalty, you know I harp on JF for his incessant Audi reporting. You FLD loyalists know what I mean. I warn JF not to turn FLD into an Audi love fest. I remind him that Audi's original brand, Auto Union, is not a call to action for some gay sex acts with the damn Audi cars. He retorts that it's not his fault that Audi makes so much news. Well, with Le Mans racing, I have to agree with JF. Audi is the leader in using racing to define its brand and technology. First, they used winning to turn their image around when they were the unintended acceleration leader, not Toyota. Then racing TDI, they made diesels cool, accepted, and desired. And now, with the R18, they're promoting advanced materials and ultra-lightweight technologies. Good for them, and good for racing's relevance to real cars. I'll put a tiny URL in the description for you to visit and get all the tech details on the new R18. Oh, and did you see at the New York Auto Show? Stephen Colbert made an appearance at the Audi display. Now, who knew he was such an FLD fan? Because instead of his Colbert report, he did his impersonation of JF.
I'm here to tell you I love Audis.
The Regal married couple got engaged in Kenya, you know, where Obama was born. So just like he did with the birth certificate, now I bet Donald Trump is going to be demanding to see the royal marriage certificate.